Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Boys from the Baltic Star. Here we are back again on our February flight. For you see, we are returning to Night Witches for the third time, which is very exciting. It's something we've been enjoying, and we hope that any of you watching today have either been watching along or are here for the first time and that you enjoy it too. If you're expecting Traveller, because you were told, hey, the Boys from the Baltic Star, they're a Traveller stream. Yeah, you missed it. That's Friday. Oh, what a mistake. But why don't you hang around for tonight? On Saturdays, we do a whole range of different role-playing activities, fun and games. And I hope you'll enjoy it. We'll still give the same vibes, but just with a different background, that's all. If it is your first time, you're very, very welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to run for, I don't know, a couple of hours, 2.5 hours. It's not an exact science, is it? Unless they all get killed, it's not an exact science. So we'll see how we go. So expect that. Expect a break in the middle when I suddenly remember because one of them messages me they really need the toilet because I've forgotten. That's when we'll take the break. So you can have one then as well. But please feel free to come and go as you want. If you decide it's not what you're into, that's absolutely fine. Thank you for giving us a go. There's a red sun there which you can click on to spend your points. We take a lot of points off for Night Witches because it's a serious topic, and while we have moments of levity, it would be impossible for us not to. Some of the noisy, sexy boy songs and things like that just doesn't feel right. That, and I couldn't be bothered to move across Blurp to this other setting. So that's the truth, really. But there's still a couple of bits there. Have a look. You can still name an NPC. You can give one of our beloved pilots a boon if you wish. There's a few things you can still do. So spend your credits if you wish, or save them for another night. Other than that, I suppose I'll just introduce who we are, and then we'll sort of look at moving on from there. So tonight you'll see there's 4 of us. There are 5 of us that are playing, but every now and again during this month, someone's had to drop out for a reason, and we are missing Kelly this evening. Sickness has taken her like a vampire in the night or something, and she sends her apologies.
Do you mean she's sick of us, or she's poorly?
I don't know. I need to rewrite what she wrote. I can't see what vibe it feels like now.
Get well soon, Kelly. Love you.
Absolutely. So we're down one, but everyone else is here as well. So that's nice at least. So we're 80% complete tonight. Taking up fully 20% of the completeness, but a smaller box than everyone. It's me. I always moan about that. It's me. Hello, I'm in the bottom right-hand corner. My name is Luke, and I am the GM for this game. I play a lot of different characters, basically. I play everyone that isn't one of the 3 people that you see above me. But I am merely a pawn in their own stories because they are wonderful role players, they're wonderful people, and they are wonderful characters. And we're going to start at the beginning, which is a very good place to start, with the man directly above me. He is my brother from another mother, the housewife's favourite. As Socks pointed out, he's coming tonight live from an abandoned RAF bunker somewhere. There's a few of them in Kent, to be honest.
It's true.
It is the murky man himself. It's Ewan. Good evening, Ewan. How are you?
Hey Luke, I'm good, thanks. Apart from having some weird kind of lighting balance issues with my camera, or lack of lighting around me, I suppose.
You 2 are well positioned for a face bump. A face bump?
A face bump.
A fist bump tonight.
We'll say we can't do that on stream.
Well,
face bumps on stream and get us banned from Twitch.
That's for the hot tub stream.
Yeah, precisely.
we can do an up and down.
Different kind of Night Witch.
I don't know, because I can't see what I'm doing. Because I've got no camera on my screen and there's like a 20-second delay on Twitch.
Just post like that again.
You've got it.
I'm not sure I want to.
You just
look
like
a young beard under my armpit or something.
You look like a young Dick Van Dyke carrying his chimney cleaning equipment with him. So who do you play in this massive story of ours, Ewan?
I play Vera Volkovia. Pilot. I don't want to say extraordinaire. Almost fully trained pilot, who is quite happy. I've noticed you've taken Clunk off, which is good because I think someone redeemed Clunk in the first ever one, and it's now become Vera's new pre-flight routine that she has to clunk herself over the head and then clunk a navigator around the head and psych them up over the head before they take flight. So I'm glad that that's just mine now, and nobody else will have to.
It's back on. Sorry,
Oh,
I forgot that it was off.
When will you learn, Ewan? When will you learn?
well, I don't know what to say to that. It's classic Luke. Say one thing and he'll do the other.
The old bait and switch.
Yeah, but that's why we like it.
Is Vera planning to steal any more spoons from Mother Russia today?
No, I don't think she is. I think she managed to get away with one from the canteen after hearing a good story about fixing wagons with spare bits of wood that they used to carry around on them. Carrying one on the plane seemed like a good idea, and now it's safely stashed under her flight seat for the next trainee pilot to maybe find and wonder why it's there.
Just to be confused.
She feels confident in the serendipity of it all for the next person.
It's easy for you to say. Well, I'm glad she's doing well. She's living her best life, and she's popular. I feel with the senior officers. They all seem to like her, so she's doing well.
Oh, good. When you say senior officers, is that you? Luke, or are we talking in game here?
Well, both.
Either is fine by me.
Speaking of someone who the senior officers have taken to the point where they've given her kind of command of the training, this little training section. It is not him himself, but the character he's playing. It is the smartest man in any room, who lives his entire life in the Twin Peaks dream sequence, who routinely sneaks over to Sock Fiddler's house to leave chocolatey deposits on her bedside table. It is, of course...
It just gets worse every time you say that.
It does. It sounds more and more disgusting every time.
It's the magnificent
deposits.
It's just shorthand. It takes too long to explain it properly. It is...
just stop at chocolate.
Just chocolate, okay. It's chocolatey deposits. It's the wonderful Ben. Good evening, Ben, and how are you?
I'm well, thank you. Very well. Yes, looking forward to this one. I always enjoy this game. I think this is cracking entertainment and weirdly interactive in the flying bit as well as the character bit. It's great fun.
Your accent is weirdly interactive. That's for sure.
And let's face it, variable.
Early shots fired.
Russia's a very large country. I'm sure there's many different accents that you could...
And she's got all of them. So...
She definitely has. Often in the same sentence as well, interestingly.
Often in the same sentence. And those parts of Russia that are, either from England or Canada or Australia pop in every now and then, but that's fine too.
I specifically like the bit of Russia behind Bangor, it seems.
Yes, the Welsh part of Russia is definitely there.
Can I ask Luke at what point people start becoming suspicious that Ben's character is a spy? Based on the accent alone.
Wow.
That is true. We might need to start making rolls.
To be honest, none of you actually know what a Smolensk accent sounds like. So for all you know...
That's very true. That is very true.
So
it's easy to joke.
I'm going to spend at least an evening next week researching a Smolensk accent and listen to as many videos as I can about it.
But then doubtless I'll be proven wrong.
That's true. Speaking of good moaning, Ben and I were talking the other night on stream about trying to come up with a low role-playing game. Sucks would be perfect.
That's right.
You see, I knew you'd be excited.
Yeah, I think that could be a lot of fun, actually.
So anyway, moving on
to... want to play the policeman, though. We just want to play the policeman.
That's it. You just all come into the
I was enjoying a good drip of wound. You're welcome. Anyway, hi.
So
Hello.
for those of you listening to that wonderful accent, it is her actual voice. Finally, you get to hear how she truly
No,
sounds.
see, now you said that.
It is, of course, the magnificent chocolate treat receiving, animal biscuit feeding.
You're
Swizzler.
into a really tactile phase at the moment, because last night you really lingered on the word delicious when describing Ewan. Tonight it's all chocolatey deposits. Are you getting enough sugar in your diet?
No, I've given it
It
up.
was
haven't I?
definitely Ben.
I've given up sugary treats.
Oh, well,
I've
that
had-
would be the problem. Start eating them again. It's making us all very uncomfortable.
I haven't had any for about 7 weeks now, but no, I'm just going to get worse.
So
Yeah.
Aldi do a very good 85% very low sugar chocolate. It's a very good dark chocolate if you're into that sort of thing.
85% sugar.
85% chocolate, sugar free.
Oh, okay. I'll look into it. We do have an Aldi now in town, so
Other supermarkets are available. We can sell what we want. It's fine.
So we'll try and get some sponsorship deal with Aldi. I'll give them an email at the end of this. I'll point them to this part of the episode where you're bigging them up.
Am I not right in saying Aldi might not be the ideal sponsor to check out this particular scenario?
Probably not.
No, I think you're probably right. We're all friends now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Socks, how are you doing anyway?
Well, beyond the fact that we're British and Brexit happened, I'm good. I'm tickety groovy is how it is.
Wonderful. A classic Bristolian phrase, of course.
Oh, I mean, I'm Gert Lush, darling, innit? How's you two? You all right?
Oh, beautiful. It is lovely. Speaking of loveliness, what character are you playing this evening?
I play the delightful Zoya Palinka, who I have genuinely fallen in love with. I think she's one of the nicest characters I've ever played, written, conceived. She's lovely. Love her. Salute.
That's good. We'll be the judge of that.
Oh. No, so she's a sergeant, and she's quiet and observant and contemplative, very eager to please, and shockingly competent so far, which is unusual for a character that I play. So I'm very excited to see what else she's not going to cook up tonight.
She's bossing it. It must be said.
She is, I think, yeah, a little bit.
My favourite thing was when Ben gave it all big bananas about being really good at fixing things and then failing absolutely terribly at fixing stuff until you had to go and help, which was kind of sweet.
And then I didn't do anything. Just literally my mere presence was enough to enable Ben's character to get the job done. I just stood there and watched. I went, that bit. And then it was done.
Good socialism. We're all in this together.
Exactly.
Yes, my mechanic is your mechanic, but you can fix it.
Well, that's why, as we share our bonus points, of course. If everyone looks in the bottom left-hand corner, there are Copex there, which if these dear comrades here succeed in certain things, they get to add a point to the pool, which others can use later on at different points, sometimes to help themselves in sort of actions. Often they're used for use in bombing runs, because bombing runs are quite deadly, because it is World War II, and our dear comrades here are all flying very out of date biplanes, World War I biplanes. For you see, the 588th, an all-women regiment, was given very old planes, hand-me-down outfits, old equipment, often short of a lot of spares and supplies. There's a lot of shovels at Engels Aerodrome, but that's about it. And they're sent out to fly at night, low heights, often only a couple of 100 meters up maybe, to drop ordnance, bombs, and harry the German troops, or blow up a bridge, and so on. Now, our comrades here haven't achieved any of that yet, because they're still training. You see, Engels Aerodrome is a training barracks. And there are 2 missions into their training, which, as a spoiler to all of you, there's 3 training missions. So they have 1 more to prove that they are good enough to progress and to really take part in the war effort. And we join it. We're jumping forward a few hours, purely for the sake of the storyline. But you see, when we left it last week, they'd just dropped the bombs on their training mission a section over a river made to look like a bridge, an enemy bridge, and they dropped their bombs. They made it back with just a small amount of mechanical damage to one of the planes. A drive gear on the crankshaft was indeed broken and would need replacing or fixing. But they made it back okay. And they made it back at dawn. They debriefed. And we joined them waking up at lunchtime the next day. As they wake up in their corner of A barracks that they've taken over, they notice that there is a missing bed. Sorry, a missing person, an empty bed. Their colleague and friend, Ksenia Voronin, does not appear to be there. And while they're wondering what's going on, they hear the call for lunch. And at this point, I shall pass it over to our dear comrades.
We'll get out, get ready, I suppose. Look around, keep an eye out. Say to the other two, did you see? Did you wake up? Did you stir? Did she leave?
I didn't see, but I was sleeping the sleep of the dead.
I've not heard that before.
Zoya, of course, is already dressed impeccably, standing by her bed, waiting for the others to catch up. But she also has no information on where their comrade has gone this morning.
A barracks is a.
Sorry, that's what I have to offer.
Oh, that's good. A barracks
That's
is.
my whole bit.
That's the whole bit. A barracks is a strange barracks. As you know, there's a sort of a run of sort of 10 beds either side or so, and mostly A barracks houses the trainee pilots, with B barracks a mix between some sort of the ones that have been in B barracks have sort of moved on, and there's some fresh recruits coming into B barracks, which is also shared with some of the mechanics and so on. So A barracks, being mostly pilots in their training sessions, is pretty sort of empty at this point. People have been waking up and clearing out the beds. There's no one sleeping in there. It's you and Osina and Zubova are the last ones in there, really. And Osina and Zubova head out towards the mess, turning back to see if you'll join them for your first meal of the day.
Yes, sort of shrugging into the heavy jacket. Will indeed set off out and hold the door open for the others if I'm the first there. A funny time to have breakfast. We should have a different name for this. Anyway,
I feel
can't think of one.
It should be a combination between, I don't know, breakfast and another meal, like lunch. If we could put those together to make a whole new word to describe it, I don't know. Dinner.
We'll call it Lekfest.
Lekfest. Yeah, perfect.
Lekfest.
Of course, this is all being said in Russian, so I don't know what
Obviously.
I don't know what the Russian words for breakfast and lunch are.
She, as Zoya walked past, I've forgotten completely your character's name. Her, Maria. I know her. She's an old friend of mine from the old town. How's your plane? Do you need more repairs this morning? The crankshaft held up.
I think it needs another kick. Yes.
After lunch, brunch, breakfast.
Lekfest. We will. I could certainly use your help if you're available.
Yes. See, now, I'd just like to point out that any other character that I've ever played would have had a really, really snappy remark to reply on that one. But Zoya's just going to go humbly, yes, let's do that, and leave it alone.
So as you all follow out towards the mess hall, you head in, and there's a couple of groups of trainees that are sat around the tables. Asina and Zubova are in the queue, and as they see you enter, one of the serving crew points out to you, Maria, and says, "Hey, you know how all of you always talk excitedly about having more borscht again?
Yes.
Well, I think the senior officers have been listening to your pleas. But sadly, they couldn't get any more borscht. So today is watery broth with potatoes."
So when you say they were listening,
They're always listening, comrade.
this is not productive. Okay. Potato is good. Eating potato is even almost as good as drinking potato. We will eat potato.
Excellent. As sort of you get given your portion, you notice that you and Zoya are given an extra large chunk of bread to go with it, and you each receive a piece of fruit as well, which is a treat at this time of year where you are, to get a fresh apple. In fact, each of you.
Mm.
And the serving staff smiles at you and says, "I've heard rumours of the state of Plane 133, and I feel that you and Sergeant Palinka may need a bit of extra energy for this afternoon."
The plane does need some work, but we don't need to literally flap our arms to make her fly.
If you don't get it
Zoya
fixed,
nudges
you may need to.
nudges Maria. Make her be nicer. Just say thank you.
Thank you for the apple. It's very much appreciated.
No. Good luck. Good luck. Have a good afternoon. Work hard, and we'll see you again for dinner. And they finish serving. They serve you, Vera. It's the serving staff that you'd asked about a spoon, and they look at you slightly suspiciously. They say, "Comrade, did you find a spoon in the end?"
No. I'm afraid I could not find a spoon. But thank you for asking, comrade.
That's okay. I would love to help, but unfortunately, I'm even less able to help now because you see, it appears someone else has taken one of our spoons, so it'd be even harder to provide you with a spoon at the moment.
That is unfortunate. As I am still in need of a spoon. Perhaps if I had a knife, I could whittle one.
You're asking for a knife now.
Whittle many spoons. No. I'm not asking. I need to find a specific sharp whittling knife. I wouldn't want to deprive you one from your kitchen.
Well, comrade, it would take a long time to whittle with one of these. And she reaches up to like the old sort of wooden knives they've got, and like prods you in the chest with it. You see, these couldn't stop the Germans even if they marched into here.
No, I take your point. And if I manage to find such a thing, I'll be sure to whittle you an extra spoon for your kitchen, for our kitchen, comrade.
It truly is our comrade. We appreciate any future potential whittling.
Zoya whispers to Maria, "Do you have any idea what they're talking about?"
Hardly ever.
Okay. I just wondered if there was something I needed to know that I've been elusive to. I don't. Okay, that's fine. It's just Vera.
As you walk past Vera, they call out to you. "Remember, Sergeant, every whittle helps."
Oh, no! Go and stand in a corner.
She lets out a very nervous laugh. and turns quickly and heads to the table. And not out of character, not overly nervous, for how she is when she's not in a plane. But
Has your like enjoyable-ish? There's some fruit in it. Your enjoyable lunch is interrupted by as you hear the door swing open and the marching of boots come through, and you look up to see two faces that you really don't want to be seeing when you're trying to enjoy your meal. That of the assistant regimental Polytruck Lieutenant Svetlana Sheremeteva, and more upsettingly for your appetite, you see Regimental Polytruck Captain Olga Barsakova. And she marches in. She stands in front of the food serving and waits for you all to quieten down.
Zoya is leaping to her feet, saluting.
Yes, I'll do the same, please.
well, if the other two are, Vera will follow suit. Noticeably late, but she will follow suit.
Captain, Lieutenant.
She sort of gives a nod to each of you. Comrades, you may notice that you have an empty chair this afternoon. One of your comrades, Junior Lieutenant Voronin, chose to join us earlier today in leaving camp, shall we say, for a short time to take on extra training, extra lessons to improve and increase her understanding of the importance of our social and political campaign together.
Understood, comrade.
Yes, we felt that while she is a fine pilot, a fine navigator, that this was something that she could strengthen to become an even better daughter of the Soviet Union. Now, please bear in mind that we're always on the lookout for those who, through their actions and their words, clearly show a desire to go for extra training. And there's much space all across the country for extra training. So if any of you want to go for extra training, you may get your wish granted, and you may get taken for your extra training one morning. Am I making myself understood, comrades?
Yes,
Very clear.
So yes, comrade.
Splendid, splendid, splendid. Now, enjoy your meals. Work hard for the country, for the war efforts. Rest is for your own time, of course. So use the time you have now wisely for the good of your sisters around you. And she smiles at you all thinly and takes an apple and turns on her heels and walks out with her aide trailing behind her.
Sit back down again, sort of with a bit of a slump. It's like, yes, I can't quite shake the feeling that spending more time in the East will not be helpful to us. West is where we should be facing.
My parents were taken for extra training in a gulag in Siberia, and I haven't seen them in 3 years. Zoya says that with astonishing casual tone, and then just continues eating her breakfast. as if extra training and gulags are just part of
Yeah.
what you sign up for just by living in the Soviet Union. Just continue for their breakfast.
Vera's eyes at that comment suddenly stop darting for a brief moment in time, and she looks over to Maria as if to say, "Is she joking?"
Best not to ask.
No, comrade. I do not joke while wearing the uniform of the motherland.
And she nods and puts her head down and starts. What are we eating with, Luke?
Well,
What's the utensil that we were
Well,
given for our watery
Well, we
broth?
have spoons.
yes, you also have a spoon.
We're fine.
If you look up, you do notice that there's a member of the kitchen staff staring at you as you eat, and as she cleans a plate, staring at you, watching your every move. But yes, spoons, and there's knives for your bread, and you've got a bit of butter there, and you can cut your apple if you wish as well. So
She'll start spooning, just eyes down and spooning the watery broth.
As you're all eating, Sergeant Zubova sort of takes up her plate, puts it back, and sort of comes and sits very close to you three, away from Asina, who's sort of cleared up her stuff and gone. And with a low voice, Zubova looks to each of you, sort of head down. She says, "Don't know about you, I don't want to do extra training. What's the point? We ain't going to learn anything there that we need here, are we?"
We will better ourselves for the motherland, comrade. What do you mean? Extra training? It's what the motherland requires if we are to win the war.
Maria has a giant smirk across her face at hearing that.
As both sort of
Zoya
rolls
is
her eyes a bit. Zabova looks to you, Palinka, and she's like, I'm Irina Zabova."
Good to meet you, comrade. I'm Zoya Palinka, as you know. And I'm confused. If you do not want to do your best with motherland, then why did you join the squadron?
I'm doing my bit for the motherland. I'm damn good up in that plane. And I'd more than do my bit here. Let's just... In my mind, maybe a bit too much time is spent in the classroom and not enough time is spent learning how to properly do our jobs. That's all I'm saying, Sergeant Palinka.
You're a learn while doing candidate. I understand, comrade.
I certainly am. Now, am I speaking to the real Palinka, or am I speaking to a carefully honed, eyes wide open, show your teeth, smile through everything Palinka?
Zoya looks genuinely confused at the question. Why would there be two of me?
You mean you're truly this wide-eyed and bushy-tailed?
I just wish to do my best. I wish to obey and excel and survive. And this is how I was told I could do it by my grandfather. I'm good at fixing things. I wish to be useful. And I don't wish the Germans to win.
None of us wish the Germans to win, comrades. And you're a fine mechanic. The fixes you made to our planes yesterday were amazing. And you're doing more for us, more for this unit than a lot of others. Keep it up.
If there is a double meaning to be found in her words, it's completely sailing past Zoya. She has no idea of any kind of duplicity. She's taking you entirely at face value.
Zabova seems quite on the money with this one. She's not being mean-spirited or anything at this point, from what you can tell. She seems genuinely caring about her fellow pilots, really.
Thank
she
you,
le-
Carmen.
Oh, you're welcome. As she goes to wander off, she wanders past Vera, spooning the soup in, and with a low voice.
Spooning the soup in with a spoon.
Spooning the soup in
That
with
has
a
not been
spoon.
stolen.
Yeah, exactly. With a low voice, Zabova says, "That was a. I take it the spoon in the plane is your doing, Conrad."
The what? The what, comrade?
Don't worry. That was good. That's a good move. It's good luck, right? I'm all about that. Don't worry. So, and she sort of flashes. You see, she sort of flashes out of her pocket a spoon herself. And she's like, "I thought it proved lucky for you. Thought maybe I could get a bit of luck too." And she sort of winks at you and sort of walks off.
Was the spoon she flashed like one we're eating with?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she hasn't just taken it out of your plate. I got one too. No luck for you anymore.
Vera will look around and just see whether anyone else is paying any attention to this interaction, I suppose.
No, I'm not going to make you roll for that. No, it's emptying out now. You were pretty much the last ones in to eat. And as much as people enjoy a short bit of socialising, this is the part of the day where everyone is doing all of their chores. People are busy, so people are clearing out, ready to go. Speaking of which, you three are now the last ones in there. And
I would glance across towards Zoya and say, "Time to fix a plane, yes?"
Yes, comrade. I'm excited to watch you work again.
That alone a chuckle. That alone a chuckle and a sort of quick slap on the shoulder. Let's go.
Yes, comrade.
Vera, where are you off to?
If it's okay, I'd very much like to visit the planes as well.
Sure.
I have an idea. Please come with us. Come on, comrade. I have something that I can do for you.
You do? What?
I'll show you.
What could?
Let's get to the repair room, and I'll show you. If my comrade here doesn't need my assistance, then I'll yeah. Don't worry. You'll like it, I think.
Hey, Monkey Tails.
Okay.
Thanks for the
just
sub.
Heads out
Poops.
the doorway.
Hey, Monkey Tails. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the sub.
I am T. And Lee. Hi, fans.
Oh, no, it's all good. Hope you guys had a wonderful stream. Hey, Croy, how you doing? Infinity. How was it? Good times? No one died, I hope? Or if they did, I hope it was very dramatic and exciting. And I hope you're all doing wonderfully. Rasinka. Poops is in his house. IMT and the pirate. Thank you, all of you. Thank you. It's like
the gang's here.
It's the who's who. It's like the who's who.
It's everyone. Wow.
Oh, it's the A team obviously playing today.
Also, I particularly enjoy being able to go poops.
Whoops. I know, it's good. It's more fun being on stream when Poops turns up because you can get involved in the pooping.
Yeah. Croy. All right, Croy.
Good old Croy.
Anyway.
Croy's playing 300 VR games this year. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
Man.
That is a serious challenge. He's doing well, though. I've been tuning in as much as I can. He's been playing some good games. Very exciting. Right, back to where we were. Anyway, thank you for joining us. IMT, as always. Stay for as long or short as you wish. I hope you had a wonderful stream, and it's a pleasure to see you and have the hellos. That's very nice. Right, so yes. Zoya, you were offering to show your comrades something.
Yes, well, first she's going to wait to see if Ben's character, Maria, needs needs any assistance fixing the pesky crankshaft.
I'm going to have a crack at 133 with my excellent skill ish.
I mean,
Because
Zoya
I-
has selected a small piece of metal, a small flat bar of discarded metal, but she's not doing anything with it for the time being.
Yeah, so I will do so, and I apparently repair well, which doesn't mean I repair well. It turns out.
So are all of you in the workshop as it stands then? If Zoya's there as well?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, so as the three of you enter the workshop, as always, you've got a few planes laid out. You do see all three of yours are in there, but two are very much being left alone. They look good, they look spanky, they look wonderful. Your beloved 015.
Spanky plane.
Spanky? Yeah, exactly. Your beloved 015 is looking great. Oh, your beloved Bubba is also in tip-top working order, and it's only the other plane, of course, Ossa 133. That looks a little bit sorry for itself, and has sort of been there's signs that it started to being looked at, but it clearly wasn't seen as the first priority. Because as we've talked about before, the mechanics like to think that you're going to turn up at some point to offer some help. And you have. And so the chief mechanic, Sergeant Galia Chazova, comes over to you and sort of nods at each of you and smiles. And to you, Maria, says, I see you did better this time. You only brought back one damaged plane rather than two.
We're improving.
I know. With any luck, tomorrow you'll leave me with no work. I can only hope.
Let's drink to that. Only we have no vodka. Let's be optimistic about that.
Well, you say no vodka. There are ways to get alcohol in the camp if you're willing to make trades with people, and there always will be. Whatever aerodrome you go to, there's always ways to get anything you want, anything you need, if you're willing to talk to the right person in the right way and owe a favour, perhaps. Of course, you have to weigh up what it's worth and make sure. He sort of looks around carefully and lowers her voice. Make sure the wrong people don't see you doing such things, if you get what I mean. Of course, us mechanics, we very much beggars can't be choosers. We are always short of items. We're always short of time. And so often we have to make deals and make trades and find ways to find what we need. And my dear crewmates, there, look at you all looking so refreshed and full of wonderful food. Was there still borscht left by the time you got there?
There was no
The
borscht.
was particularly delicious. She
Oh.
elbows Maria.
Oh, it's a shame. That's a shame. But yes, so you see, the reason I bring this up is your plane, 133, has a problem with the drive gear on the crankshaft. A fix which would take a time but would be very much doable. Now, you see, the thing is, we don't have any spares here at the workshop. And what I do know from some other crew that went over earlier today, that just across on the next door men's barracks, that battalion does have some spares. And perhaps one of you or more could look into getting me that spare so that I can get your plane, or you can get your plane if you want to, up flying again tonight.
Excellent. Give it a shot.
Good. Don't be too long. come back within the hour, and there'll be plenty of time to get everything fitted and done well. Good luck, comrades. Good luck. Your plane will be here waiting for you for when you come back to complete it.
All right, I'll nod to the other two and head off in the direction of the way she pointed towards the other barracks.
Zoya, like she holds up hands. Comrades, stop! I know how to do this. I know how to do this. I can do this. I do.
Okay.
Give me your apple, and take out, like, get your plane ready to receive the new thingy crankshaft. She says, yeah, obviously she says crankshaft. And I will be back in moments with the part that you need. I promise.
Okay, I will hand over the
Need your
apple.
apple. Thank you. And she straightens her uniform and puts her hat on slightly askew and carries an apple in each hand, and walks off towards the barracks. And I don't know if Vera's going to come with her or not. But you know that she's walking a little bit of a sway.
It's up to you, Vera. So if we're assuming that Maria is waiting and sort of preparing the play, which we can make a roll for, like an initial roll in a second, and and Zoya is heading over to the men's battalion. Vera, how about you?
Vera will look at Maria and say, should someone go with her?
I mean, in case she needs some help, I guess.
Her shoulders kind of sink a little bit. Not going with you, but she has no interest in going anywhere near the male barracks. But she'll scuttle off and jog to catch up with you.
Okay.
I love Vera. Can I just say I love Vera?
So as Vera and Palinka make their way over, we will start then with a simple, well, not simple, but a straightforward task of Maria making a roll to start the fixing of the plane. So first things first, what you'll need to do is to go to the right part of the engine, remove the broken part, and sort of get everything ready and laid out for the new part to go in. If you feel confident to do that, you can make a roll then.
I'm going to give it a shot, yeah.
Okay, so that
2d6?
2d6, and you can roll plus your skill.
Okay, I have a quick question about that, because I picked up a thing last time, a +1, that I could apply, but that's only like a third of a +1, isn't it?
Yes, you need to complete all of those boxes.
Yeah. Okay. Then in that case, I have a skill of 0. So we will try. This is going
cool.
So
wait a sec. You can do that again, Sarah. Just bear with me a second. I need to double check something before we do that. Okay. I just talk amongst yourselves. In fact, while I check that out, why don't I'll pass over to Vera and Zoya, who can discuss their walk over if they wish. That's better than dead air, isn't it?
Yeah. Vera will come running up. Wait, comrade, and reach out for your shoulder.
I didn't think you'd come. Thank you. Hello.
Well, Maria was worried that you might need some help.
Oh, in this, I feel very comfortable with the task, comrade. But I enjoy your company, and I'm pleased that you're with me here, going there. Yes.
Yes. I'm intrigued now that you say you're confident with the task. Tell me.
Well,
what are the apples for?
You'll see. Just act like you're a bit uncertain. Well, just be you. Just be yourself, and we'll be fine. Don't look anybody in the eye. That's all I ask, and just stay with me and trust me. My mother used to run a shop when I was small, and I'd see her do this all the time.
That shouldn't be a problem. And you notice that while she's outside, her eyes are very much darting around in the sky, looking for more planes.
Oh, Vera.
Okay, I'd made a mistake with the rules. That growth, you can actually give yourself a +1. You can add a +1 to anything. You don't have to fill it.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My
So
Ah.
it says, it
But we
says
can
something
only
on a
do it
completely
3
different sheet.
times.
you'll only be able to do
Sorry.
that 3 times. Yeah, you'll only
Right,
be able to do
that
that.
makes
Okay.
sense.
And +3
So I
is the
can
most you
raise
can have on
guts,
anything.
luck, or skill by 1.
Yes.
Okay, skill it'll be for me, please, because I'm mostly navigating, and that's a skill check, isn't it?
That is skill for Maria. Yep. All right. My apologies, everyone. That's why I'm glad I had to double check it. And that was a nice conversation,
Yep.
by the way. I enjoyed that.
That's good.
It was win-win as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely.
You all picked personal growth, didn't you?
We did, I think.
You did, yes.
Yes.
Okay. Socks or Ewan? What would you like?
I would like for Zoya to approach like the repair hangar. Where I presume there's the same amount of activities there are in the other area.
What
Oh,
skill
okay.
increase do you? What skill increase do you want? What skill increase do you
Skill
want?
buys me more time to think about it.
I'm gonna add mine to skill. So I still got the -1 for guts because
Yep.
she's still terrified when she flies.
Yep.
I feel +2 luck is already completely wasted. So we'll go for +1 skill.
Perfect. So +1 skill, +2 luck, -1 guts. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And you.
Oh, let's go crazy. Let's go guts.
No guts, no Corey. No guts, no
+2.
spoons.
+2 to
But-
guts.
Notably, not whilst just walking around the walking around the airfield.
Perfect. Okay. So then we will roll for Ben. I didn't want to give you the worst roll than you should get at this point. Let's put it that way. That's why I
Okay.
had my sudden realization.
Quite capable of making those bad rolls on your own, Ben.
Quite capable of doing that unaided, yeah.
Even with the help. Okay.
Even without Luke cheating.
Exactly right.
That's a 10 + 1.
Oh,
Oh,
Just-
sticks!
Pretty good,
Oh my
it's
goodness.
just overpowered now. I think you've broken the game.
Don't even need
Completely
parts.
OP character.
So overpowered.
What he
now.
did is he added 1 to each dice. That's what happened there. He's now rolling 2d6 +2.
You have successfully taken it apart at this point. You've got the stuff out. You're very confident that you've removed the right part, and it's just sitting. Of course, as it stands, it won't fly, but it's just going to require one more turn to fix it when they return, hopefully with the correct part. So congratulations.
Fantastic.
And you should feel very cocky. In fact, I'll tell you what, old Sergeant Galia Chizova comes over as you're doing it and just stops and just looks and just does the old I'm proud of you nod. Briefly before.
Spasiba.
Yes. Good work. And just walks off to carry on cleaning her hands on a greasy rag as she goes, of course. Okay, Vera Zoya.
Okay, so Zoya's looking at the repair hangar for the nearest male battalion. My God, I can't speak today.
There's no Italian.
And she looks easy. She looks for 2 relatively young mechanics. So what she's looking for is a plane not too badly broken, with 2 fairly casual-looking male mechanics, youngish, working in a not very dedicated sort of manner. So people who aren't completely in the zone fixing a hole.
Right. Cool.
2 people having a relatively easy morning who are youngish.
That will require a roll in a minute, so I'll feed into that. So as the two of you do walk along, you as you leave your battalion area, as you chat, you do notice that as you cross towards the men's, there are markers that sort of show that you're entering this new area. You know, it's not like it's fenced off or gated off or anything, But you notice it more and more because the few women walking around sort of give way to men and more men, male pilots, mechanics.
No potholes.
Right,
The buildings are all fixed.
you do notice that it is definitely a bit nicer
There's no
there.
burning tyres anywhere.
You can see the cooks tipping out the remnants of some borscht that was
Stop
that was
it!
there.
That's just uncalled for.
And there's just you get a couple of like, wolf whistles as you go along, and it's quite and a few comments. Yeah, a couple of cat calls and come see how the real soldiers work, girls. All that sort of stuff as you go through, and you sort of approach to their workshop, and there's definitely the first thing you notice is that the planes are it's a whole different level of planes. These are not your knackered old biplanes. These are proper fighters. You know, some bombers in there. The workshop is big. You can see past it massive hangars, and their runway they've got across there, which just has gleaming fighter planes. Just
landing lights and all that stuff.
All the good stuff is there, and it just
They've even swept the leaves of the tarmac.
It's just a whole different world, really, just along from there. And as you go into the workshop, you do notice mechanics sort of hurrying around doing their work. I'm going to need to make a roll for me, please, to size up a. Let me check the right. I think I'm going to go. Eyeball a situation. So I need you to roll plus your skill, please.
Now that's +1. And that is 9.
9. Okay. You've got a make a note. You've got a hold, so you get a hold for that, which will allow you to ask a question, which I will give you an answer to. So a hold in this situation is generally if you just ask someone, I can just decide whether they or roll to make them not answer. But by achieving somewhat, you've learned enough about a situation by seeing it that you've sort of earned yourself a question and answer, if that makes sense. So you've got one of them. Cool. Okay. And you do notice that there are a couple of younger guys there, sort of doing their work. They got the radio on. This workshop does have sort of radios on with some music from a nearby sort of station. Very patriotic music, of course, but the vibe is just much more professional. But there's a jovial nature to it as well, and you do see a couple of likely lads.
She nudges Vera. Those two. We'll get what we need from them. Come on. And she walks. I mean, she doesn't hurry, but she walks quite purposefully, and you know, make sure that she approaches them from a direction that they will see her walking, so she's not creeping up on them or anything. And then she just waits for them to speak to her first.
Okay. So with the eyeball, because I think it's the first time we've done an actual eyeball. By apologies, by saying about having a question, you can ask a question. Sorry, you can ask a question about the situation, which I will answer if you spotted it. Do you see what I mean? Like who's there, what's there, how many's going?
Yeah.
Is it like that? Makes more sense. Sorry about that.
I didn't realise that.
It's the first time we've done it, and that was you know. So yes. So
are they what are they working on in particular? Are they working underneath the plane? Are they buffing up the sides? Like which way are they facing, and which am I able to tell which one would be the better one to approach?
I'll take that overall as a question. The answer I get. You'll notice that there are.
Sorry.
That's all right. I can simplify it down to basically one question, I suppose. They are working on. They've got the front of the plane open, and they are poking around in some mechanical parts as opposed to body or fuselage or anything like that. So they do look. They've got very nice. Their tools are not very rusty. actually seem to be in decent condition, and they do look like a good choice for the fact, they're working on the sort of bit of the plane that is useful to you. They're of a similar age, and they're sort of chatting and joking as they work.
Comrades, apologies for my interruption. I see that you're working very, very hard. My name is Sergeant Palinka. This is my comrade, Valkovia, and we're from the 588. And I was wondering if I could have just a moment of your time. And she holds out the apples. In any of my other characters, it would be a very suggestive kind of gesture. But in Zoya, it seems to be a genuinely innocent breast-height apple offering.
They sort of, the guy, they both stop and they look both of you up and down a bit. And one of them nods and takes both apples from you and hands one to his colleague. And they say, well, I'm sure this, thank you. This means that we can spare 2 minutes. You've bought our time, I guess. Volkovia, that's a strange surname. Not heard of that before.
At this point,
This is so my favourite running joke.
Vera's headed straight for the plane, and she's not actually looking or paying much attention, but she's running her hand down the body of the plane and just thinking, one day. One day.
I bet you don't get to see vehicles like this, Volkovia. No?
I've not. No. This is a fine plane.
How are you finding the old PO2s? Our granddads flew in them. Not
Slow.
I thought women liked it when you went slow.
Jesus.
She kind of zones out at that
Zoya
point.
looks at Vera and sort of tries to give her an encouraging nod. This is what we need.
Tell me how fast do these go?
Faster than you could handle, that's for sure.
Yeah, Luke, how fast do they go in numbers?
Top speed?
There's crit fail. I've only got the stats for the PO2s. I can tell you how fast the PO2s go. Much faster than the PO2s, eh? What they go? About 150 kilometers an hour? Yeah. You worry about your own planes.
No, I'm just admiring the machine that you have here. It's when's the next model due out? We might get a chance with one of these then.
You think they'll give you a chance with one of these? You're joking. You're lucky you're flying anything at all. Most of the men around here don't even want you around. They see you as an embarrassment. Whatever you're going on, whatever you're doing, you could send an old man on a horse throwing grenades. It's only because that major of yours, hobnobbing, putting in the words with the right ear from people, it's the only reason you're flying at all. Now, what is it that you two want? We're nearly finished.
Zoya looks genuinely wounded, actually, that the whole squadron has been so horribly insulted, actually. And she tugs on Vera's sleeve and says to the men, I'm sorry. I really misjudged. I thought we could rely on our comrades for assistance. But I was wrong. and she whispers to Vera, "Just follow me. Just walk away with me. This will work. Trust me." And she starts to walk away, looking obviously wounded.
Vera will join her in walking away, but somewhat longingly looking over her shoulder at the airplane for a moment, a brief moment.
Right.
And they have so much. And we gave them our apples on a day when we just had potato water for breakfast.
I am going to make you both roll something here because you're trying to get your way. I've spotted it, which means you're acting
We're
up.
using our womanly wiles.
Which means you're acting like a lady.
Vera's not. She's just doing what she's told.
I was just enjoying. Yeah, you and Skiff for awkwardness. I knew would make this the perfect ploy.
Which means you're acting up to get your own way. So, Zoya, can you please roll 2d6 and add your guts, please?
Oh Christ. Okay.
That's what happens when you act like a lady.
Well, I rolled a 6 and a 5, and my guts are a -1, so I rolled a 10.
Fantastic. You get to choose 2 of these things. Are you ready? Then you can choose these.
I'm a lady.
Yep. You can make someone do what you want, or you can ensure that there are no consequences for what's about to happen, or you can add one to the mission pool, and you can choose 2 of those things.
No consequences. There's no bad consequences, or no consequences of any kind.
I'll decide. Like nothing. Not negative, basically, because it's a positive.
Okay. Well, obviously we want them to do what we want, which is to genuinely offer to help us, and we want a part that probably is just lying around that isn't anywhere near their lovely, beautiful, shiny big plane. So yes, that's the first one. And the second one, well, I mean, I'm just following orders. I was told to come over here and barter, so I don't believe there's going to be any consequences. So I'd like a mission pool token as well. There's my 2.
We can do that. Okay. So as you're sort of walking away, sort of looking a bit sad and womanly, you hear one of them sort of mumble
womanly
to another.
In your woman's clothes.
In your woman's clothes. You hear one of them mumble to the other, and the other one goes, "Comrade, stop. Okay, thank you for the apples. You're clearly here for because you need our help or something. You wouldn't be here otherwise. So sure, you've got our ears. What do you want from us?"
Oh, honestly, comrade, we didn't come to waste your time. I was ordered by my commander to come and find a crankshaft, and I was told to come and barter with the male squadrons until I found the part I needed. And I know that none of your planes even need this particular part, but that you definitely have them lying around. And I don't have any vodka or shiny tools or anything of worth that you can't get more easily yourselves. And I just wanted to ask you for help and offer you apples as a thank you. And you insulted us. We're doing our job for our motherland, just like you. We just need a crankshaft.
Right, straight roll then. It's a scrounge, but you're going through channels. You're actually asking them.
Oh, this is do what we want, though. Okay, what do I roll? Just 2?
2d6, yep.
Okay. Ooh. Oh no, I dropped one. 7.
7. Okay. They sort of mumble to each other again, and they sort of nod. And one says, "Yeah, we've got one of them. We've got some old stock. We get sent out some stuff that doesn't really work for the planes every now and again. It's sort of a hand-me-down. You know, it's been used, but it's working." And he sort of heads over to a box to start rooting around. I need you to pick 2 of these things, though. Okay. Either you're going to attract unwanted attention, or you need to take a harm from lack of sleep. I don't know, because you've just become super stressed about the situation. Or the stuff you get is poor quality, or you incur a debt. and you need 2 of those.
Well, I'm going to take poor quality because it is of poor quality. He's literally just said that. And I'm going to incur a debt because I think this might be a fun connection to maintain for the future.
Okay.
Thank you, comrade. My name is Zoya Palinka. I'm a sergeant in the 588.
Zoya Palinka. Yes, that's a. I'll be remembering that name. Nothing comes for free, of course, comrade. We're willing to provide you with this this only twice used. Well, I say twice used. It's been in 2 different planes, and I think one of the planes crashed. But I think this part still works. I think.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, there is something that I need you to do for us, though. If you could, there is. You said there's nothing you can give. There is something you could give for us.
She crosses her arms and looks quite stern, but says, "What can I do for you, comrade?"
We've heard that, as with all battalions, you have the regimental polytruck. You have in your battalion. I don't know who she'd be, but she works for the special police force. We've heard that their office in your battalion is easier to get into than it is for us. They're always locked. They're always guarded. But as your whole battalion is a bit more, let's say, a bit more slipshod in how it's been constructed.
You insult us again, comrade?
No, so there's nothing to do with you, comrade. Just that when they're putting together the buildings for our dear female comrades, they didn't take the care that they should have done, let's say. So it's easier to get into the buildings. I believe in your command room, you'll find the office of the polytruck. And I've heard that she has a surprisingly large collection of vodka, fine vodka as well. And if you could promise to bring us a bottle tomorrow, perhaps, then I would call our debts paid in full.
I'm sorry, comrade. I think I might have misunderstood you. I think you might be asking me, in return for a piece of, like a mechanical piece that you don't even use, that is barely in working order, and in this box, nowhere near any part of service of your plane, in return for this, that is 1 week away from being recycled into artillery shells, you are asking me to break into a commanding officer's office and steal some vodka and give it to you. Now, let me put it to you this way. If I was the type of soldier who was willing to break into offices to get vodka, do you think I would have done that already and avoided this unsavory conversation in the first place?
It's up to you, comrade. We're very happy to offer it to you. Maybe your friend would be willing to do it.
Zoya shrugs and looks over at Vera. Vera, how do you feel about stealing some vodka?
Vera's already sort of pulling on your shoulder and shaking her head, pulling on your sleeve. No,
Yeah.
not.
I'm sorry, comrade. Yeah, I feel like dishonesty quite strongly is something that Zoya would not be tempted by. Whether or not, I mean, there's all of these other crews and all of these other planes, and a commanding officer who I feel, when this dilemma is described to her, will be quite sympathetic to the fact that Zoya didn't err on the side of crime.
The man shrugs and he says, "Fine. Tell your head mechanic that I have the part if she wants it."
What is your name, comrade? I'm sorry, I cannot see it on your non-standard issue overalls.
My name is not important, comrade, as it stands.
Unusual name.
What can she see the number of the plane that they are repairing?
Yeah, sure. It's 17.63.
17.63. Is there a name on it?
No.
Is it called "We Have an Enormous Penis" or something?
No.
Okay. No, I feel like Zoya's really gotten as much as she needs out of this conversation. She'll start walking away and then over her shoulder say, "And please, comrade, do enjoy the apples," and then heads back towards the hangar where the women are working. Sorry, I feel a bit bad that I didn't play ball with that one, but I just don't think she would have.
You do what you want to do. There was no right or wrong in that solution. Everything's a moral test.
It's difficult.
Could be
'cause Anna
worse.
would
You
have
could
been
have stabbed him in the throat.
Well, yes, that's true.
Exactly.
In front of 100 people who absolutely weren't paying any attention to everything that was happening.
It's a surefire way to pass a moral test.
Hello, daring leader. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. On the way back, Vera will look at Zoya and just say, "Oh, that apple comment was seething."
She feels like she needs to hold her hand up in the air in celebration and wait for Vera to also hold her up and then slam together and then celebrate. But she doesn't know how to communicate that, so she just keeps walking.
I think you're right, comrade. I mean, even if we disobeyed the orders, which we didn't, they wouldn't send you straight to the for extra training, would they? But surely, if you were stealing something from the political officer's office and you get caught, that will not.
I feel that a comrade who requires us to do crime to get a plane up in the air is no comrade of mine.
That makes sense. I would agree.
Thank you, Vera.
In this case, certainly.
And then can they look for the repairs? I've forgotten the repairs lady. I had written it down, but the lady who's overseeing the repair hangar.
Yeah, the sergeant, Galia Chizova.
Yeah.
You do. She's sort of working on a plane, but she's happy to sort of pause and look to you as you come in. Do you manage to get the part?
Well, we had very little to barter. They didn't already have Commander, and unfortunately, even though we gave them our apples from breakfast, which was literally all we had, they still insisted that in order to secure the used part that they no longer required, we would have to break into the office of the... Oh, I can't remember what you said now. I'm so sorry. My memory's really bad today.
The Polytruck. That's the Polytruck.
The Polytruck. The Polytruck office, and steal some of their quality vodka in order to secure the part that they don't even need. And honestly, I wasn't prepared to break the law and regimental rules to secure something that, well, should be in the scrap pile in a week's time.
Not just steal it, but give it to them as well.
She sort of laughs a bit. And she says, you spoke to Curdin, Comrade Curdin. Yeah, this is classic ploy. No, he'll give it to you, look. And she sort of walks over to a cupboard and she pulls it open and she pulls open a bottle of a very average looking vodka. And she throws it to Vera. He says, look, just take this over to him. That's all he needs. He's probably only yanking your chain. Just take it over, he'll give it to you. Just say that I okayed it. It's all good. Off you go, Volkovia.
Thank you, comrade. She salutes. Really sharp salutes. Like Rimmer. We're talking Arnold River.
Not the full.
That goes on for some time. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And Vera will head over.
after she goes, she sort of comes down from her stepladder to you, Zoya, and says, I appreciate your honesty and your desire to do things by the book, Palinka. I really, really do. I think it's an honourable thing, and I think you'll make every polytruck you ever serve on base with a very happy polytruck. You truly are a picture perfect Soviet airwoman.
I feel like I'm being told off.
In future, my dear comrade, yes and no can be more subtle. It's all about finding out and knowing who to trust in your barracks, and who may know other people, and who may have an in or an out. Keep those doors open. He's a good man, really. As good as men get, really. But
That's
no,
as good as men get.
as good as men
So
get.
it seems profoundly disappointed.
Don't worry, Palinka, don't worry. You were, like I say, you didn't know him, and you played it safe, and I can't begrudge a woman for that. Now,
It seems so unfair.
that Sergeant,
And
life
what
is.
if he'd then, if he'd
life
been
is-
caught drinking the vodka that I had been forced to steal for him and then told them where I got it from, I could be sent for special training.
It's true. It's possible, and I guess it was unfair of me that there are people who you get to know who is safe to work with. Just keep an eye out for those zealots among us, those that truly believe there is only one way to solve things, if you get what I mean.
Yes, Commander.
There are many ways to get what we need. But go and help your comrade with the plane, and I'm sure Valkovia will be back shortly.
Thank you, Commander. A far less sarcastic salute. Well, she wasn't being sarcastic because she doesn't know how to be sarcastic. She salutes gratefully.
She's like
this
too
time,
earnest.
and, yeah, she's a little bit crestfallen because she's a bit confused. She tried to do the right thing, and it turned out it wasn't the right thing, and yet she didn't fail the task, but she also didn't get it right. So she's a bit in the wilderness with it all, and she's quite relieved to go back to Maria and have a quick chat about what happened. But while she's chatting, because there's nothing for them to do until Vera returns with the parts. So can she get that tiny piece of metal out that she found before? And while they're chatting, can she be, at the workbench hammering it into a spoon to give to Vera?
She can do her best.
Thank you.
That's all right.
I'll roll for it. It's fine. It's like a really beautiful spoon. Just hammered.
Yes, it's not going to be really. It's going to be like a triangular bit of metal you can just like shove into potatoes into your mouth.
Yeah.
Vera, you go back and you hand over the vodka, and there is literally no problem, unless you want to make a problem or do anything or say anything. He's happy just.
Yeah, Vera, make a problem. Go on.
No, I don't think she'll make a problem. She'll be her usual self.
Take the apples back, Vera.
Comrade, I bought the bottle. Are you going to give me the shaft?
I'm gonna show.
Well, comrade, I certainly would, but I'm working at the minute, so and he takes the crankshaft part from the other guy, and he hands it over as he sort of takes the vodka and he sort of throws it in his hand a bit and looks at it, and he says, a fine year, a Chazova vintage. And he smiles and he says, comrade, you need to learn quickly who is on your side and who is not. And what the true value is of things. And whatever you do, comrade, never get caught. And immediately he sort of turns his back and walks back to his comrade. He half turns.
No.
He half turns at the butt if you want it.
She'll look around still with darting eyes and get a lot closer and just say, how do you tell that somebody's not a political officer trying to get you to do wrong or tempt you? And she'll take a step back.
It's a very good question, comrade. Usually, if their uniform has the letters NKVD on them,
that'd be a clue.
That's the biggest clue.
Yes.
Now, I'm busy. Go on. You'll learn. Good luck. Fly well.
And she turns and walks and longingly runs her hand behind her as she walks down the side of the shiny plane and heads back.
And she's like, yeah, in 70 years, guess who people are going to be role-playing games about? You or me? What? Bam, mic drop, gone.
Okay, Socks, roll 2d6 then, and your skill. There's a little aside.
Okay. 10 plus 1 is 11. So is noshing my cereal.
That's okay.
11.
It's about as good a spoon as you can make with a dirty old bit of metal and a hammer.
Nice.
And that's all the things you've got to make it with. But you can be proud of it. Maria Volkovia turns up to you with the gear, I'm guessing, Vera.
Yes, comrade. It's I have the crankshaft. It'll only cost one bottle of vodka.
I don't have a bottle of vodka.
Well, I was told to learn the price of the worth of things, but as it's you, then she'll hand over the crankshaft.
Thank you, because I did actually have something I was prepared to offer.
No, that's fine. Don't worry, we're friends.
You're sure? Because I was quite prepared to offer you this aircraft for our next mission as the one you would be operating.
I've grown quite accustomed to Baba.
Okay.
084. But thank you.
No problem.
Zoya walked over to Vera and she's like, I was there when she gave you that bottle of vodka. and now you're charging our friend a bottle of vodka. And I made you this spoon.
The what was their rank, Luke? Did we get their rank? Would I know their rank? The male person that I spoke to.
It was a sergeant. That none of the mechanics are generally running higher than a sergeant that you would run into anyway.
Okay. The male sergeant told me that it was important to learn the worth of things, and I was given a bottle of vodka, and I used that to get a crankshaft, and then somebody else wanted to crank. It's fine, don't worry. I was never going to really charge.
I made you a spoon, comrade, because this morning it seemed like there was a problem with spoons, and I was hoping that this humble offering, well, I mean, maybe I could charge you a bottle of vodka for it.
That would be your choice, comrade. Yes.
Zoya frowns and shakes her head and just gives Vera the spoon.
Vera's very awkward at this moment. She's not quite sure how to take this, but she takes the spoon and she pops it in her top pocket.
I
Thank you.
I feel like characters' friendships are not as well formed as our player friendships.
Totally.
Right, Ben. You've got a part now. It's okay.
I have.
It's only been used in one downed plane and another plane that actually stayed in the air, so it's usable.
It's good part. Strong part.
It's strong part. It's proven itself. Okay, could you roll 2d6 and add your skill, please?
We'll find out. That is a total of 8.
Okay.
Ooh.
Interesting. Right. You patch it together. Maybe it's partly because the part is not as good as perhaps he said, but it fits in, and you get it in. You think, but there's going to be two things that you're going to need to choose from this due to your fixing.
Mm-hmm.
Either she'll fly eventually, but not tonight, or or the sheer amount of work you're having to do here means you're going to take one harm from lack of sleep. It's been quite a job, it's more effort than you thought it was going to be. Or you don't complete the job in an officially approved manner. So maybe you can't quite fit it in, so you've had to, I don't know, you've lost a couple of screws, so you've had to put it in without a screw, or like found something to jam it in. Or the plane acquires a personality if it doesn't have one already. I can't remember if that plane's got a personality or not. I don't think it has.
Don't think so.
So quirky.
My plane.
It's like quirky, easy to stall, a bit jumpy. It's a bit excitable on the controls, something like that, really.
I think I'm going to given that we've got our sort of last training mission coming up, I don't want it to not fly tonight. I'm going to go with unapproved repair.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
Makes sense.
And you need to pick another one as well. Oh, you're protected. You only pick one. Lucky you. That's the good bit about fixing. So it's got. Are you still happy with that being your one?
Yep.
Okay. So something you've done to it as you fix it. It's almost like as you finish it up and you sort of close everything up, you have to give a little shifty look around to make sure no one was catching the last little bit you did. Maybe you had to hit it a couple of times to fit it in. So it's a bit jammed. It's a bit wonky. It's not going to be your problem.
So we're saying, in essence, that Ben has a screw loose. Is that what we're saying?
That is what we're saying.
The good thing is, of course, Maria, after tonight, it's not going to be your problem.
True. Win or lose, live or die, someone else is getting the plane, or nobody is.
That is very, very true. Right, everyone's done something. Are we happy to jump ahead to the mission? Because it's been a long day. Unless anyone wants anything particular.
Yeah.
Can I just very quickly say that whilst the actual repair has been going on after the crankshaft's been delivered, Vera will be going over to 084 and just as subtly as possible checking underneath the seat to see if there's still a wooden spoon there.
It is still there. Zubova was yanking your chain for the second time.
Classic Zubova.
Classic Zubova.
She feels a bit relieved, but also not relieved because somebody knows and it's still there. But it's fine.
Is there only one spoon there? Did Zubova put her spoon there after all?
No. Zubova's been flying a different plane. She's been in another plane, so she wouldn't need to put it in that one. Zubova flies the 133. With Maria, or has been anyway. It's up to Katrina. So, speaking of which, time passes and you eat your evening meal and you line up for the briefing. Like I said, I'm sorry for the quick jump ahead, but it'd be nice to get a couple of missions done this evening.
Yeah.
And as you stand there, the spot of Ksenia Voronin seems to have been filled with a face that two of you recognise at least, which is that of Sergeant Valia Rodina, who was there when before Palinka got there. She was very much you find out that she's gone and she's been training with another crew, but she's been pulled back over again to cover for the evening to complete her training because she knows you. She sort of spent time with you. So as you stand there outside the briefing room, Senior Lieutenant Petrova comes out, who of course you recognise, the head of training there, and she nods at you all as you hopefully stand to attention and how you would do. She looks you up and down, pauses for a while, says, "Okay, comrades, this evening is your final training mission here at Engels Aerodrome. I'm sure you're all very excited to complete it and to move on out of the training barracks to a new aerodrome where your actions will directly support the war effort. But don't get ahead of yourselves, for this last mission here is not easy. He sort of looks around a bit more and pauses on Volkovia briefly, eyes sort of boring holes into her soul briefly. Everything okay, Sergeant Volkovia? You seem nervous.
Sir, yes, sir. No, sir.
Which is it? Yes or no?
I'm eager to fly.
Yeah, yes. I hope you all are. I have quite I believe they say doozy. Well, they will do in 20 years' time. Set up for you all this evening.
Is that why they clap their hands together in the air in celebration?
Exactly.
It's your doozy then.
Doozy. Exactly.
Perfect.
Okay, but first, Junior Lieutenant Katshina, I need you to choose the crews for this evening, if you will. I need pilots, navigators for which 3 planes you're going to fly, and who will lead the mission and who will wayfind.
Okay. I'm going to jumble the people a bit.
Okay.
To give people a bit of experience flying with different people. So, we're going to put Radina in 015 as pilot.
Radina, very good, very good. Replacing Voronin.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Very good.
We're going to put Palinka behind Zubova on 133.
Very good.
Osina into 015 to navigate for Radina.
Yes.
And I will ride with Volkovia in 084.
Very good.
Sorry, who was the navigator of that 015?
Osina.
Osina.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I'll just update that for you.
It's essentially I'm rotating the navigators around relative to the pilots, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That should update it for you, I believe. There we go. Very good, very good. Now, which pilot will lead the run itself, and which navigator will wayfind? Everyone has done at least something.
I believe Rudina has never led a run.
Okay.
But I don't think we need her to have that practice. So
Radina nods. She sort of says that she has led a run with the other section she's been working with. So she will pass out if needed at the end, so that's okay.
So we're going to stick with Volkovia leading the run in.
Mm-hmm.
And
sorry, my dog's being hilarious. Stop it. Sorry.
I think, Zoya, I'd like you to navigate.
Oh, yes, section commander, thank you.
Very good, very good. Let's save that. And let's put that up for you, which should then become clear. And there we go. Perfect. Petrova nods and smiles. And he says, very well, very well. I will let you decide everything else between you all. But first, the briefing. Now, you may have noticed that your planes aren't here. They've been taken by truck this afternoon to the auxiliary airfield at Tambov. So shortly after this, you will be jumping into some trucks and being transported over there. It's not a great airfield. It's short and bumpy. My goodness. And will be a good...
It's that man with his dog.
Yes. Get him off. Get him. What's he doing here? Security. Away. We feel that this would be good practice for taking off and landing in less than ideal circumstances. This is a reconnaissance and a bombing of, and this may excite you, actual German positions near Stary Oskol, southwest of Voronezh. This mission is carefully supervised by elements of the experienced and all-male 218th Night Bomber Regiment under D.D. Popov.
D.D. Popov, really?
D.D. Popov.
I love you so much.
It's not down to me. Celebrate the author.
Is there really somebody called D.D. Popov?
D.D. Popov. Is that
sorry,
funny?
For
is that
anybody
funny?
who's not like 150... Oh, I'm sorry. I just need to explain to people that was the name of my favourite character in Rentagaz when I was really tiny. Rolled me no end. Anyway, I'm sorry. No, it's not Funny Commander. Sorry, excuse me.
Good. He's very self-aware of his name, and he is a commanding officer.
Does he sneeze a lot?
No.
Okay.
So, you'll fly from Tambov. You'll fly reconnaissance and bombing of an actual German position near Stary Oskol, southwest of Voronezh, and it will be supervised by elements of the 218 Night Bomber Regiment. Do we understand?
Okay.
Yes, Commander.
Yes, Commander.
Yes.
Very good. Your landing will be awkward, so there'll be an extra roll you need to make for landing because there's a roll for less than ideal situations. So there'll be something extra you need to do this time. You will have some support from their bombing squadron, but the final run, you will have your own part that you will need to complete. So if you fail your part, you will be letting us down, you'll be letting them down, and you'll be letting the entire Soviet military down. So please do your best and succeed. And she sort of turns around and she sort of points at a couple of vans, sort of a couple of trucks. He says, okay, board, and they'll take you to your planes. Good luck. Good luck, comrades. And she marches back.
Thank
in.
you.
Thank you.
And I shall stride off towards Baba this time.
Mhm.
Waving warmly to my fellow pilots, because we all need a good wave off.
Vera will approach Asina really, really quickly and she'll just say good luck. Come back safe.
Asina will lean her head forwards, waiting for the customary, even if she's not behind you.
Vera's caught in two minds as to and she'll just do it. I'll see you back here. She'll head off towards her plane.
Take care, Volkovia. So yes, so the trucks have driven you over and dropped you off at this other airfield, which you do notice it's dark. They've sort of lit a couple of torches. There's a couple of lights around, but you can just about see down the runway. You can see it's bumpy, you can see it's short. It's going to take. You're already not looking forward to the landing. You've got a whole mission ahead of you, and you're already in the back of your mind is the landing. Volkovia and Palinka, you have your own concerns. So Katsushina, you need to choose which plane you are going to provide a Vedamaya for.
I'm going to go for OSA, please. 133.
Okay. 133.
Yep, since that's where we've put our key navigator.
That is true. And the plane that you fixed badly and then left.
It wasn't badly fixed, it was just unorthodox.
You put me in the bottom plane.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Secured his admiration last week and his death wish this week.
So as one by
Fly
one.
true, come.
Yeah. You hope you will. Just try not to think about it too much. Think about your wayfinding, and hopefully you won't hear the strange extra clanking coming from the engine.
Like sitting on a washing machine.
Exactly. Okay, so one by one, the planes make their way down the runway and take off. It's a little bit shaky, it's a little bit wobbly. You definitely feel it. With Baba going first, of course, as Volkova is leading the run. And before 133, Osa catches up and takes the front and center of the formation, with Palinka the first to take the all-important role. And as the three planes fly up into the dark sky at night, and we sort of fade back from them, I feel it's time to take a break and consider all of the things we could have done better and worse over the last couple of hours.
Also, I need to settle the dog down. She got very excited.
She did get very excited.
Can I just quickly throw in before takeoff? Vera will do the obligatory, and then turn to Maria and say, "I'm sorry if you'd allow me for luck." Round her head as well.
Amazing.
Perfect. So
Thank you.
Your ears will be ringing for half the trip now. So we're going to take a 5-minute break, everyone. Please hang around. We'd really appreciate that. But, go to the loo, get a drink, whatever you're going to do, and then meet us back here. And we will see how the mission goes and any fallout from that. Right.
Excellent.
Let's go to break. Let's put some lovely music on. welcome back. You join us here on the Baltic Star with the 3 planes of the 588th Night Bomber Regiment, the Training Squadron Section 2 under Senior Lieutenant Petrova, the planes 015, 084, Baba, and 133 Ossa with a suspiciously fixed engine, clanking slightly at every move. The person who fixed it notably moving herself to another plane, and instead putting Palinka there to deal with the fallout of that. The 3 planes have taken off from the auxiliary airfield at Tambov, a less pleasant strip, and flying into the night for reconnaissance and bombing of German positions near Stadioskol. It's the first time they've gone up against Germans. And for Zubova especially, Palinka, you can sense in front of you as Zubova is flying. Firstly, she's a bit confused at the slight clanking from the engine, considering it seems to be flying okay. But there's a tightness of her shoulders that she's taking this one seriously. You know, there definitely seems to be in the air amongst all of you, and there's sort of you're seeing each other flying so close that you're giving your hand signals and so on for directions. You're noticing tension in the eyes of you and the other crew as well.
Can we all just take a moment to appreciate that Luke said in the air amongst all of you whilst we're flying through the air in planes, but in separate planes? It was very nicely done. Sorry.
Thank you. Yes, I'll take any acknowledgement.
I'm enjoying that the man in the house made most of glass is the one that's pointing the fingers and throwing the rocks right now. Good job, you.
No. That was
Oh, were you being genuinely
impressed? Nice? Yeah, about how
okay. I'm
cool
sorry.
that was and appropriate it was for where we are.
I completely misread you. I'm so sorry.
You've ruined it now.
I know, I broke it.
What was a moment?
But can I just say that anybody watching my plane would observe it looking as if it's got hiccups. Because
it's quiet out. The wind is low. The weather, as you're sort of approaching spring, while definitely not warm at this time of night and definitely a chill, is quite still. There's no rain. There's no real mist. It's a clear night and you can see the stars. It's good for you when you're navigating. Maybe not so good when you're being shot at by German troops. And again, that's something else to weigh on you, because it can't go without realizing that you are going to be going against people that want harm of you and also have their best weather to look up into the sky to fire at you. And all you have for your defense is the cover of night and that strange haunting noise, the almost over silence when you're going to cut the engines as you approach your target. Palinka, you feel upon you a bit more pressure because of the situation, and it has fallen on you to navigate and to lead the way. And you're going to need to make your wayfinding roll. It is very much nighttime. I need you to roll 2d6 plus your skill, please.
Okay. And she's generally terrified of flying at night. Well, of flying anyway. So this is already a little act of courage, and she's a bit buoyed by the fact that she's done this twice before. And she rolls 2, 4 plus 1, 7.
7. Okay. It's clear. So more by the stars than anything else, you're able to pick your way to where you need to go, and with a bit of the support from the 218th Male Night Bombing Regiment, they sort of keep you on the straight and narrow as well. Of course, they have much better equipment than you do, and they're flying much higher, because of course they are. And they're going to peel off at one point to sort of take their bombing run, and it's perhaps because of that, as they peel off, you you realise a bit too late that you shouldn't be following them at this point, and there's this brief moment where you lose your route, and you have to readjust to get back onto your route. And because of this, at this point, two things are going to happen to you, and I need you to choose which two things are going to happen. Now, you all need to bear in mind you have 1 point in the pot, which can be added to a dice roll at any time if needed. Okay. So, either. Oh, you only pick one. Sorry, Wayfinder. You pick one. Either your plane is going to suffer a mechanical failure, a minor mechanical failure, or they're waiting for you and you're going to get some enemy fire, or the stress of it, you get sort of stressed and banged around, and you and Zabova will have to split 2 harm between you however you want. Putting it all on the pilot is not necessarily a good idea. Let's put it that way.
Well, it's tempting, but that's. I feel we've made such a fuss about the bodge job on the repair and the clanking and bumping that I think whatever broke on the camp, it's broken again. Because last time they were able to make it home safely, it was just a more difficult way to fly, and so there's a big clunk and the banging stops, but consequently the plane becomes harder to steer and fly accurately. I feel.
I think that's very reasonable. So what the mechanics of it would be is that the crankshaft has sort of wobbled,
it sprung a leak?
Loose, and it's definitely sprung a leak, and it looks like it might be causing problems with the collector spool as well. So this poor plane is almost knocking itself apart at this point.
Zoya is nearly distracted by how angry she is about this whole nonsense situation with the German mechanics. With the Russian mechanics. But she kind of pushes it to the back of her mind to be dealt with later, and taps Zabova on the shoulder and continues to do her job, like really having to work hard to focus on it now.
Well, you do see Zabova is struggling with the stick to keep it in control, and of course it's a plane that doesn't have that many moving parts, and so Zabova is very much using all her effort just to keep it going. Any more damage to the plane will probably cause problems, let's put it that way. But as it stands, you'll be able to make it there and back. You hope, you think. However, your wayfinding for all of that, you sort of get it back on track after the men have sort of flown off, and you're able to point out your target, which is good. That's good news for you. Well done, you. So for your hand signals, you point off to the German positions near Stadios Skol, and almost silently, Zabova manages to wrestle the plane aside to make room for Baba to fly into the middle to lead the 3 planes to the target. And as is the tradition, the engines go off. Palinka, you're praying that your engine will go back on again shortly. Volkova and Katsushina, before we roll the dice, I'm interested in how you're feeling at this time, flicking into your plane, taking up the front with a live target ahead of you.
I'm eager more than anything else. Eager.
Yeah, this is very much where Vera's, statistically speaking, +2 guts come into effect. So she's quite confident. She turns back to Misha and just gives a nod and an okay signal. Let's go.
Take it away.
And feels quite more than confident especially after the last run of their collective ability as a squadron.
Fantastic. So the engines go off and you you descend down slightly to the height, and I'd like you to make your roll for your attack run, please. 2d6 plus your guts.
That's a 5 on the dice, plus 2 is 7.
And
Take
spending your
the
point would
point
make
and if it make a difference.
they won't. It'll only make it an 8, and it's a
Doesn't
7
make
to
much
9.
difference, does it?
Okay.
No. A 7 is a hit. So as you loose the bombs and you do see them hit the target, you see the flames dance around. You can hear from where you are almost men shouting and screaming. But as you sort of fly away, you need to choose 2 things. And as Katashina's with you, Katashina cannot use the Vedamaya, of course, 'cause it's on your plane. So there are going to be 2 things that happen. One of them is the damage to the target is not significant, and it is your fault, Vera. One of them is flak could start flying up, so we'll need to go through enemy fire. One of them is a plane in your section is damaged, and that's my choice.
Thanks for letting us know, though. 'Cause that feels important.
Yes, it's very clear. Or you and your fellow airwoman are marked, so you will need to look through your list of marks and add 1. You're 1 step closer to death, and that will be something that you will need to act out on at some point. So I'll give you a moment
Luke,
to
can I ask a
consider.
question?
Yes, you can.
If the target is missed by the lead plane, can the other 2 planes who are following it also drop their bombs?
The rules of the game. What I let you do is I'll let you jump in because you're not Vedamaya.
I am.
You can't be because you had a job already. You already the navigator. No, it has to be that. A Vedamaya could potentially do something about it, but there was no one that was.
I think essentially when we make this roll, it affects the entire group. Everybody has dropped their bombs.
Basically, the bombs dropped because Vera has sort of motioned now to everyone. So you've all followed what she said because she's leading the run. So you've all loosed your bomb. So if it's not a complete, it hasn't been blown up. It is Vera's fault because Vera's picked the wrong time to let go. Yeah. The only way that could happen is a Vedamaya
sure
temp fate.
1 plane or all planes. Okay. Yeah.
So we have to pick 2 of. We didn't do that much damage to the target.
Yep.
Or we got hit by flak.
Yeah,
or something took damage.
Flak, you can get through flak. Flak doesn't guarantee massive problems, but bad things could happen. Plane in your section is damaged, and you and a fellow, the 2 of you are marked, and I need 2 of those, please.
And do we get to decide between us?
Yes, but the final decision.
We discussed, but yeah.
The final decision will need to be on Vera. If you can make another attack run after, you can make another attack run. However, if you do that, that will be tempting fate, and if you fail that, that's horrific consequences.
Seriously.
Because you're like, they know you're there and you're doing another lap and coming back again in planes that are like 150 kilometers an hour. So it's up to you. Yeah.
Well, personally, I think the 3 of them would not fail because of incompetence. And I would be happy to risk my plane being further damaged.
Yeah, I'm tempted to say flak and damage for me.
Yeah, I don't know how you feel about it.
Yeah. My initial thoughts were flak, and was there one that would take a mark?
Mark, yeah, you and Maria would take a mark, yeah.
Okay. Well, in that case, as the other 2 are happy with flak and damage, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will go with that.
We don't know which plane will be damaged, but that's up in the air. And I'm curious about how flak works anyway.
At the moment, it's up in the air. The plane might be on the ground very soon.
Oh, lol.
Thanks.
This is a game that's supposed to be dangerous, and I
Yeah.
don't feel that it's really fair to constantly towards the safer consequences.
No. That makes sense.
Okay, so the bombs are dropped and it's a hit. That's first and foremost. You have blown up an important or semi-important German base. What's there? And you have killed some of the enemy, and you have
Das
caused
Vidania, Fritz.
exactly. You've done something honourable and glorious for your country. However, as you start flying away, immediately flak starts flying up towards you. The guns are firing. You're caught in it because, as was mentioned in the chat, you ain't getting out of there quick enough to avoid it. And it's the darkness and the fact you're so quiet up until you're there that are giving you a chance. However, as the first flak fires up, there is damage to a plane, which is Baba.
Okay.
And
That seems fair, actually.
It does seem fair.
I did roll, to be fair.
Yeah.
I'd say
No,
that.
it seems like it worked out fair. I applaud that.
And as you're sort of flying through Volkov, you've sort of loosed it. You have that moment of excitement and celebration, and suddenly you get the and you feel that one of the sort of as you look down, you notice that half of your landing gear has been shot away. And sort of some of the undercarriage has sort of been blown into it, which that's okay because we've worked out you can basically fix that with papier-mâché. The landing gear, not so much.
Yeah, I mean, half the undercarriage wasn't really there anyway, was it?
No, and even less of it's
certainly
there now.
not compared to the nice planes that we saw over near Barracks B.
Looking down,
they're light enough and they go. Sorry.
No, Karen.
Go on. I'm just curious. Well, I was just curious because these planes are light enough and slow enough, and they're designed to glide, like while we do our bombing runs. So surely we've been trained in some regard to just glide them into landing.
You can still land it. You'll still be able to land. It's just there's something called a wheels down where he's going to have to make an extra roll to land it. It's still landable because you're right. You can cut engines and do something, but it's just far from ideal.
Okay.
So yes, absolutely. Vera gets a little flashback as she looks down at the damaged plane of her hand running along the fuselage of that fancy plane in the men's room, and before the flak starts firing up more heavily. Who's not rolled yet? Ben, could you roll?
Roll to survive, Ben. Roll versus death.
Exactly. Could you roll 2d6, please?
Yes, I can do that. Okay, that is a 10.
Wow. The old girl's in one piece and you're fine.
Ooh.
Which is
Nicely done.
very exciting. Well done, you. So actually, it was a very good choice. And so the flak's flying around, and they're definitely targeting your plane first and foremost. You were the one that led it, and somehow the three of you make it through the storm of flak. Not without your hearts in your mouths, quite frankly. This is the first time you've been under true enemy fire. And you complete your wide turn, and you put the engines back on, and you've gun it for home. It's not an enjoyable trip back. Palinka, you and Zabova are feeling Osa juddering at every single time she tries to change the angle at all. Vera, through the back of your mind, is running that you're going to have to land without half a landing gear. Maria, are you aware at this point of the landing gear being shot away?
Yes. Yes, I mean, if anything, I've probably got a better view of it than the pilot.
That's true. So you all know that the mission is not over, quite frankly, because you've still got to get those planes down. And often landing a plane is the most dangerous part, and it is going to be for you this evening. And another hour flying back of cold and uncomfort, your emotions roll in, excitement, thrill, the feeling of success, but also the worry and the grim determination of what's to come. Radina and Asina motion forward, and they fly ahead as you sort of move in. The idea is that they're going to land quickly and get out of the way. They're the ones most likely to be able to land it. You're both sort of flying in with some problems. And if you crash land and explode and blow up, they're going to struggle to land. So they're going first. I've got a roll for them though. That is, who is it? Zabova. Okay. Oh, why have you got Zabova flying? Oh no.
Because that's the way Ben wanted it. Frankly. In the broken plane with the crappy pilot. I miss you, Kelly. I miss you so much.
You sort of see Zabova ahead landing the plane, and it bobbles and it sort of jerks to the side. It's something that she's not quite. Oh, so it's Radina, isn't it? Radina Asina. Radina's not quite used to it, and she sort of wrestles with her skill. She's sort of wrestling it into the position, but as she does it, you notice that she's sort of bottled it somewhat in what she's doing. She doesn't land true. She lands almost like potentially putting the rest of you in danger, because she doesn't try to maneuver off quickly.
Oh no.
She lands, and her lack of courage is noted. That's something that could happen to all of you. So her lack of courage in her landing is noted, and she's also potentially put herself in danger because of her landing. It was not a good landing.
Right.
The plane is there, so there's a possibility things could go horribly wrong. But first and foremost, but next, Zabova and Palinka go next, because they can land. You can land with what you've got. The plane is still holding up. I'll let you. Yes.
I put my shoulder, my hand on Zabova's shoulder, and into her ear, I will quietly say, I believe in you.
Ahead of your time.
Exactly. Beautiful.
Yeah.
They'll all be singing that in the future. Zabova briefly sort of reaches back and sort of touches your hand on her shoulder, and then sort of quickly grabs the stick again and points the nose down and sort of lifts it. And I don't know if it's your belief that helped her out there, but she's actually landed it. She's actually gone and landed it, which is quite frankly astonishing. And she bobbles it down. I know. There it is. She bobbles it down and manages to sort of swerve around Radina's plane. And it's scary. The ploughed field is not a great place to land in, but she does manage to land it, and even steers it off to the side into the grass to provide a bit of space for Volkovia. And you owe a lot to her, I feel. One thing that you could do, but I wouldn't do it this time because it uses up one of your space. But in the future, if you land like this in one piece, you're able to change one of your regard slots to the plane, so you can grow like a love for the plane or a trust for the plane or something like that. But there's no point doing this because it's a training plane, and you would
This is the last time we flew them.
Yeah, you'll use that. But in future, you could grow attached to your plane because of it, which is cool, right? That's cool. So
yeah,
I clasp Zabova's hand, and we just turn to watch the final plane in our trio land. We're bated breath. We cannot breathe. We are so tense with anxiety to just make sure that she gets down safely.
I'm going to lean forward towards Volkovia and say, you've got this, right? Or if you prefer, we can get out and walk.
just drop me off.
Looks back at
I really want to be role playing with you two next week, so please do this right.
She looks back over her shoulder and says, "I've got this."
I am
Excellent.
a leaf on the wind. What
Horror
a
show.
choice.
This is tense. This is tense. This is a roll.
Odlichny.
I've also got in the back of my mind like this horrible whistling from the bullet holes in the bottom of the plane, like when you blow over the top of a bottle.
Oh, you've had
But
to
with
put up
a
with that
bottle.
you've had to put up with that for like the last hour and a half all the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Okay. You make approach and you know it's going to be horrible because you're sort of down a wheel. You're going to have to, goodness knows how you're going to stick the landing. It's going to take some skills. Remember, you've got 1 point that you can use if needed. Could you roll
Yeah.
2d6 and add your skill, please?
And it's a horrible landing place anyway, right?
Yeah.
So,
Come on,
that's why
you've
I've
got
been
this.
warming them up. Hey, it's not all right. That's 3 plus 2 is a 5.
Okay, fine.
I can't even
5.
plus 1 to make a 6. It makes no difference.
No,
No.
we can. Well, okay. Does it really make no difference at all? 5 to a 6.
There's one thing.
Looks
Right, this-
panicky.
No, I'm not panicking because that's not necessarily the end of everything. There is one thing you can do that could save it or could be the end of everything. It's up to you. You could tempt fate.
Jump out.
Uh,
Jump out and risk broken legs.
And
You
what,
could-
what happens? What happens if we tempt fate? Does that mean we get a re-roll basically?
yeah, it's with guts though.
If it goes
A 10,
badly.
a 10 plus you'll succeed. A 7 to 9 it happens, but with cost, and the costs that it's got to be more costly than you would get for a 7 to 9 in the wheels down.
Yeah.
A failure under 7, I think you're, if not dead, you're going to be in trouble. Let's put it that way.
Okay. But this is a guts roll instead of a skill roll?
Yes. So if you want to
Oh,
do that,
wait.
or you don't
Was
have
that
to.
skill? Sorry, Luke.
That was skill that
I
time. Yeah.
completely rolled guts anyway, so that's
Okay.
actually it's a 3. I don't
Okay.
know whether that makes any difference.
It
Nope.
does, because then you add the 1 and you get 7.
That's just a 3.
No. It was just a 3 on the dice plus 0, and then I add the 1, and we would get 4.
So
This
So
may be the time to push our luck.
I was gonna say, so it's up to you. I'm seeing it as you're sort of landing and you're bobbling it around, and you can make the decision to bail and just pray and hit the brakes and hope for the best, and it's going to hurt, or you like pull up and try and do another landing.
Take another pass.
Yeah, but already like Rudina's plane is filling the space. You've gouged a huge gouge already. You know.
Yeah.
Severa will see something. She'll know something's wrong on the way down, and she'll turn around to Maria and say, "No, try again or
Try again.
stick it."
Try again.
Casual.
and we'll
What
tempt
do you
fate.
think, dude?
Okay.
We'll give it a shot. This
She'll
could
put
be a
up.
horribly bad decision, but we'll
Go
give it a shot.
Well, you get your plus.
Could be.
You get your +2 for guts, and you've got a point. So you're basically +3 to what you get. You want to hit at least 7,
Sorry.
really.
Wow.
This is a big roll, man. We don't have these sort of rolls in our games normally.
We don't.
It's not bad. That's an 8 on the dice. Plus 2 is a 10.
Oh, mate.
I knew you had it.
I can see the
You
I can
and
see the
Bob.
I've been
tension
warming
lift.
these dice up for a long time, ever since the break.
Ben looks
Never in doubt.
naturally
I
relieved.
was so tense. I was very nearly in tears.
So as you
I
sort
don't
of-
know though, because Adventurer gets, if you walk away from a wrecked plane, you advance. You know,
That
when
is
you
true.
change duty stations. So part of me was kind of hoping.
It's not wrecked enough for you.
And doesn't Protector get to advance if they like save someone from burning wreckage or something? It would have been perfect.
Yeah. Although, do we have the wheels down as well? Or is this included
That was
the landing?
That
was the wheels.
That was your wheels down. So you sort of you fly and you're gouging along it. You just managed to avoid Radina. Then you pull up at the last minute thanks to Katsushina. Do another tight loop, and this time, working off how it worked last time, you readjust the landing balance. You sort of maybe dig in more on the other side, and it's ugly, and the plane but ends up nose first, and the plane is going to take some time to fix. That's not your problem. But you do kind of stick the landing, and the two of you will be able to walk away from it somehow.
With the Memphis Belle music playing in the background.
Vera will turn around and she'll bat Maria around the head as per pre-takeoff. Whew, I was worried there for a minute, comrade.
You had it all the way in. No problem.
Asina will run over
to new underwear.
Asina will run over to you and throw her arms around you, Vera, and slap you on the side of the head.
She'll pat her on the back. Thank you, comrade. I'm glad we all made it.
Did, and the trucks...
Zoya is clambering out of her plane and rushing towards the other two, overjoyed, absolutely overjoyed. And she notes that she's not going to be fixing that in the morning.
That's why she's overjoyed, isn't it?
Zabova clambers out and she puts an arm round a disconsolate Radina, who's happy that the mission's gone well, but a bit embarrassed, I think, at how it went down for her. And she pulls her into the group, and the six of you hug and celebrate each other as the trucks pull in to pick you up and to take you back. And at that point, as it fades out, we fade back up again, and if this was a book or a film or something like that, and it was a new chapter, it would say 2 months later, and
wow,
and it would follow the six of you still on that truck, but on a different track, I guess, rolling in to a new base. The war has advanced, and you have moved in. You passed through your training. Each of you get something, so congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
New pants, which is a good start.
Yeah.
But you also advance. So each of you advance, so you can give yourself something. Check through the advances, look at what you want to take. But also, all of you must choose harsh lessons. Harsh lessons.
Where is that? Is that move?
That's one of the advancements.
Yep.
Oh.
So we each take a tick in harsh lessons.
So you each take a harsh lessons, which is so you're going to get. You must take harsh lessons. So that's your advance. Everyone must take harsh lessons, which also gives you a move. So basically, out of it, you're filling a harsh lessons box, and you're getting a new, and then choose a move.
Oh man, that's a political thought thing. It would have been brilliant in that bloody hangar with that stupid mechanic.
There'll be more. There'll be more stupid mechanics and more.
I'm really tempted to take it because that's really in her character, but also the intense navigation. Yeah, well.
When someone knows what they want, tell me, and I will update it for you.
Okay.
I'm going to take intense navigation for her harsh lessons move.
Yep,
and she's going to.
And that's it.
Oh, do you not say we take an advance as well?
No, that's it. Sorry, intense. What'd you
We
say?
have to take that.
Yep, intent. Wait, yeah,
Intense navigation.
yep. You get one move. That's your thing. Okay, cool. Which, for those watching, means that you don't need to find a target at night. You won't need to wayfind if instead you take a mark or harm.
Mhm.
So yeah, if Sora's wayfinding.
I'm going to take the move permanent file, please.
Oh. What's that mean? You get a desk job.
It says when you submit an official report to your superiors, roll plus skill. On a 10 plus,
look,
you get to choose
My
two
best
things,
friend is he.
and on a 7 to 9, you choose one thing. The choices for those three things are to mark someone, change the accepted truth of a situation, or add one to the mission pool. All of that sounds really RP heavy, so we'll do that.
Yeah,
Nice.
do it.
So there will be times where you can present reports. So that's something that you'll be able to do more of going forwards. Hey, Carl Frog, how you doing? And Ewan.
Vera's going to have, given the last landing, she's going to have spent the last few months pacing the length of the plane, and she's going to take 11.4 meters tip to tip, and just familiarising herself with the dimensions of the aircraft.
Oh, this is a cool
Well,
one.
it's a new aircraft now.
When you want to land in some new place, you can ask, "Is it remotely possible to land there?" And if the answer is yes, you don't need to roll wheels down because you're that good now at landing planes.
Which feels quite thematical given the
After what you went through,
given the last mission, yeah.
It's incredibly thematic.
Can I just say hi to my bestie as well? And I hope he caught our incredible and unbelievable landing. And I say our, I had nothing to do with it, but I'm cashing in anyway.
We all did.
We were just bobbing around in the back, which is scary enough in its own way, really.
We all got to do a thing.
Exactly.
So that harsh lesson is the advancement we get. We don't get another choice of advancement.
No, that's your advance you get. But it's nice. So you've all skilled up now, and you've also got an ability now. And so yeah, you're in the back of the truck, and it's June 1942, and you find yourself. If I go to the right page here. 2 months have passed. The 588 has relocated to a remote field in the middle of nowhere. So we can change the maps and things like that. Exactly where you want to be, huh? That can go. That can go. Ooh. Within striking distance of active combat zones on 3 sides. The thunder of artillery is constant. The badly battered Red Army is in retreat. Communication and supplies are erratic. It's time to earn first blood in the Don River Basin. Logistics overview. Everything is chaos and the supply chain is seriously fractured. New recruits can't even find the regiment, much less parts and consumables. Occasionally, aircraft need to be dispatched to distant warehouses by day to bring back food. While you're here at this base, you're going to get -1 for scrounging, -1 for repairing.
Wow.
If you want to do it, you've got to find it. Find it and fix it yourself. Welcome to the war. You roll in and you immediately see it is a whole different world. Whereas before you had there were concrete buildings, it was much more nicely organized. Here you are literally in the middle of nowhere. And while there are men's battalions and that around, it's much smaller base than it was. And it seems much less permanent as a base. As you you dropped off and you walk through, you notice you still have the same. You have briefing, your workshop, your hangar, your emergency workshop for any planes that need have to land elsewhere to get, because they're You know, they're badly damaged and need to down themselves. You've got stores sort of out down a lonely path. You've got your parade with the command, the NKVD, and the mess hall all around it. And you've got the 3 barracks, barracks A, B, and C for A Squadron, B Squadron, and C Squadron, of which you have been placed in B Squadron. Under in Section 3, B Squadron is Senior Lieutenant Yulia Mirova. Section 3 under Lieutenant Mel Isieva. And in fact, as you go onto the parade ground and you all line up, all of you that are joining into A Squadron, B Squadron, C Squadron, that are all joining, there's a number of you joining different sections within that. So there are 12 sections, and probably a couple of the squadrons are being replenished, you know, a few extras being added here and there. It is indeed. Hey, Lollygaggers, how you doing? You're joining us at the death row of this evening.
Hey,
thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I hope your stream was absolutely fantastic, and it was lots of fun, and not too many people died. Mela, Farco, thank you. Shadizi, which is one of my favourite names of anyone. The Lollygaggers. I hope you're all well. Thank you. They've just moved. You're looking at fully qualified pilots / navigators that are ready to do their thing. Griff.
We almost didn't cock it up at all.
Almost. One ring, of course. It's One Ring Saturday. Fantastic. I'm glad it's marvellous. So as you're all on parade, for you...
Can I just ask, because Zubova, Asina, we've all moved as a little group, like as a 6.
Yes, they've sort of basically Section 3 and Section 4 of B Squadron have been totally replaced. They're sort of grow. The war effort means that the unit is growing. Let's put it that way. So you know it's expanding. Okay. The first person that sort of stands up to introduce you is someone, the Chief of Staff, who, if you remember, Major Bershanskaya. Beneath her is the Chief of Staff, who is in charge of all the pilots, all the planes. And she's there stood, as you all stand at attention. And she welcomes you to Trud Gonyaka, the base there. Hopes that you will do your best, that you will fight for the motherland, that you will earn the respect of those around you, and that you'll prove to be brave, fearless, and sort of write the 588's name in history. She seems like she's going through the motions a bit. Her mind is on many things. She's a senior member of staff, so you know, she barely looks at individual faces. There's a lot on her plate. You have to almost earn being sort of looked at twice by her, hopefully for the right reasons. And then as the different squadrons move, the new recruits for the different squadrons filter, you meet your squadron leader, which is Senior Lieutenant Yulia Mirova, who works her way down and sort of actually knows who you are, you know. As we're just finishing.
We didn't cock up a single mission.
Oh,
people were like, "You're going to get it wrong." We didn't get anything wrong.
Indeed,
completely flawless.
Indeed, she stops in front of Katsushina, and she says, "Junior Lieutenant, your exploits come before you. I hear that you killed many Germans during training."
Thank you, Lieutenant. We did okay.
You certainly did. I just hope that you have more respect for the planes that are going to be yours for hopefully a long, long time.
We try very hard to keep the planes in good condition, because the planes then keep us in good condition. But if it's a choice between deconditioning a German or deconditioning the plane? We're going to throw at the German. Sorry.
She nods at that and sort of smiles to herself, and then goes to Vera. Says that your exploits also go before you. I heard of your landing, your brave landing in your final training mission in the dark on such a field. I hope that here at the base we can afford you a smoother runway for your landing, so you don't have to dig so deep into your bravery.
Sir, and with missing landing gear, but thank you, sir. It would be appreciated.
Not at all, not at all. As you see around you, the buildings are made purely of split logs and muds, but we do line our airfields with hay bales along the runway, which are set on fire at night to guide you home. So hopefully, it will give all of you extra help in landing. It's very important. The work we're doing is very important. Just please make sure that not to set fire to the many hundreds of hay bales around the base. She walks over to Zoya at this point.
Salute.
Sergeant, I trust that you won't go around setting fire to hay bales on my base.
Oh, I do not like fire or hail. Hay bales.
Hail bays.
I'm sorry, I'm nervous.
Are you nervous, Sergeant? Don't be nervous. You're here with your sisters and your comrades.
Very excited to serve the motherland in this new capacity, sir.
Good. And you'll get your chance very soon. I'm afraid, Junior Lieutenant Katsushina, you may have been told before, but while you headed up your section in training, here you will fall under a more senior officer, at least for the time being. Lieutenant, and up next to her walks your section leader. This is Lieutenant Mel Isieva, and while you're here, she will take on the role that you did originally, Katsushina, for the time being, of course, until each of you get your feet under the table, as it were. Hoping that it will free you to become even greater a navigator without all the extra worries of putting women in the right planes.
Excellent.
Good. I'm sure you'll all get on splendidly. You see that. I thought you didn't like fire, Palinka.
I'm sorry, sir. I couldn't resist. I heard the phrase with the previous barracks, and it amused me.
Ah, yes. There is one more person that I think you might all recognise who is here as well. And she turns around, and out of the NKVD door does come a face you do recognise, which is Barskova, who smiles warmly at each of you. He says, comrades, while we are far, far away from home, that does not mean that any of us can let slip our dedication to the learning and the political love for our homeland and for the great Stalin. I'm sure your studies here will be deep, and that you'll spend much of your spare time when you're not fixing planes, developing your skills. You'll spend much of that time learning about our country's future and its past. She sort of smiles at Palinka. I'm sure you'll be my star pupil.
Zoya, overwhelmed, salutes very sharply and is thrilled at her decision to not steal vodka from this incredible woman.
Asina sort of gives you a slightly jealous, dirty look that you're the one getting the praise from Baskova rather than her. And in fact, not for you, but Asina is getting I'll tell you because I think it's only fair. Asina is getting a relationship towards you, which is envy. I'm not going full jealousy, but envy. Okay. So
I mean, sure. Zoya would not understand that. She would just think that she was being a role model and try to be more responsible.
well, of course, absolutely. Okay, and as she allows you to fall out, and you head to the barracks to sort of put your bags in and find your beds, your cots, and so on, before going for your first meal. I feel this is where we're going to finish for this evening, so that next week you can start your new life as fully qualified members of the Air
Meet our
Forces.
planes.
Exactly.
We can meet our proper planes. We can take on real missions on the Don front, which
I mean, I feel we just did a real mission.
Sounds
I'm just-
perfect.
yeah, that was pretty
we
heroic.
did a real mission and it went flawlessly.
Without a
Absolutely
hitch.
perfect.
I mean, some pauses for dramatic effect because we didn't want to be boring.
Mm.
But I feel
Sure. We were just
I feel
styling it out,
flawless.
that's all.
Flawless better describes our plane, Ben, than it does the mission. At some points. But yeah, sure, why not?
let's not let Maria fix anything else there, shall we? Let's keep her away from that.
So thank you, dear.
Picky.
I just hope you care about your new planes more than the training ones.
Mm. Well, we have to.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
They're yours now. Thank you, you lot, and thank you, viewers. Those of you that hung around, that joined us midway through, and those that lurked and hung out and all that sort of stuff. We appreciate you. We hope you enjoyed it.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us, Stocks, and thank you, guys. It's been a treat.
It's been fun as always. Yeah.
Cool.
And
we'll
thank
be.
you for not killing me.
Oh, I was
Yet.
tempted. I was tempted. The lousy dice just didn't work, though. That's the problem.
1 week left. Anything can happen.
They could have exactly. Oh, it's all bets are off next week. Thank you, Griffin.
Griffin,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you so much.
Mm.
Yeah, thanks everyone for dropping in and thinking of us.
Absolutely. Next week is another Traveller Night Witches doubleheader. The last Night Witches of this batch. If we feel it's successful and they'll survive, we might bring it back for another month later in the year, perhaps. I think so. Yeah, this different format of doing things. The next thing on this channel, yeah, I think that's good, isn't it? It's nice to get the rhythm. The next thing on this channel is going to be Monday night. So have a night off, everyone. Do your own things, you know. Enjoy your life, and then Monday night, come and watch another episode of the Quarry, the horror video game I'm playing about werewolves. Which is all picking up now. I think there's going to be violence and deaths and attacks and all sorts of excitement. So join us for that. But until then, relax, everyone. Take care. Thank you, guys. Much appreciated. And
Thank you.
Thank you. It's been lovely.
We'll see you all soon. Ben, say something wise in Russian for us to leave on.
Podvodnaya lodka atomnaya raketny.
I do not like to eat my marmalade with a mouthful of vodka. Sorry, Ben.
And in a
I don't know
submarine
what you
as well.
actually said. Heaven's sakes. What did you actually say?
Nuclear powered missile submarine.
Excellent.
See, words of wisdom.
Why not?
Good night, everyone. On that
Good night.
on that wisdom.
On that.
Mhm.
Good night, all.